What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. First and foremost, I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Also hope everyone enjoyed the NFL draft. What an interesting draft it was. But we're back here on Monday with our very first new look rebuild of the series. So today, for no reason at all, we're just going to start with the Chicago Bears. So obviously I've been looking forward to this series for quite some time, but now the draft is over, we can start doing them. So let's go ahead and jump in and do a new look Chicago Bears rebuild in Madden 25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. We're currently on the road to 10,000 subs, and YouTube tells me about 85% of the people that watch these videos aren't subscribed. So if you do fall in that 85%, want to change that, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, I know everyone's going to ask, so I'm going to leave it down in the description below, the title of the roster that I'm using. It's not perfect by any means, but I think it's serviceable, and I only believe he has the first three rounds in right now. So unfortunately, we do not have the 4th through 7th rounders in this roster at the moment, so that is disappointing. But I think we're lucky enough to have, everything from round 3 to on the roster already. And for the first time in these rebuilds that I've been doing this entire offseason, everything is accurate across the league now. So it's going to be interesting to see if the simulation's any different. Do the Eagles always still dominate? Is there another team that pops out of nowhere? But every team should have their roster that they look like in real life at this point, which is just going to be very fun to kind of see how that changes things. So let's look at the Bears roster after the draft. So obviously we have Caleb Williams, we have Rome Odunze, we have DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore. Luther Burden was a draft pick in the 2nd round. And by the way, for these rebuilds, I think we're going to give every single first round pick superstar dev, and then 2nd and 3rd rounders are going to get star dev. Maybe we even leave 3rd rounders to just normal. I'm not sure on that yet, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. So Colston Loveland obviously was their 1st round pick, and I've gave him superstar dev. Luther Burden I've given star dev, and then defensively they drafted Shamar Turner, and he's gotten star dev as well. And this is what the defense is looking like. And then one other pick in the 2nd round they had was Trapilo, and he is also star dev. So without further ado, we're going to simulate year number 1 and just see how this Bears roster does. I will tell you that I am running Detroit's playbook because of Ben Johnson, obviously. So we're going to see how that rocks, or how that works, rather. So we're going to rock with it, see how it goes, and hopefully this team ends up being pretty good in the simulation, but we shall find out. So let's simulate year 1. Let's see how Caleb Williams does. Year number 2 with the Chicago Bears, and I will see you guys at the end of the season. So at the end of year number 1, things don't go as well as we would have hoped. We go 7-10. So that's disappointing, obviously. We don't want to see ourselves going 7-10. The Bears, to me, have a good enough offense to be a playoff team, obviously. There was anticipation of them being a playoff team last year. It looked like it for like the first 4 weeks or whatever, and then unfortunately things slipped away, obviously. But let's go ahead and get into the re-signing stage, as the Vikings and the Bills were in the Super Bowl, which is interesting. Now, the one thing I will say that sucks about this roster is that he doesn't have the contracts correct, but I don't even really think there's a way you can do that. Like, Kirby Joseph's got an extension, so some of the guys that have been extended, like, their contracts aren't reflecting that, which is disappointing. But again, I don't even know if there's really a way he could have really fixed that. Offensively, 14th in the NFL, and then defensively, 23rd in the NFL. So 30 and 20 from Caleb Williams, so we'd like to keep those interceptions down if possible. Swift had 12 touchdowns with 700 rushing yards. DJ Moore with 1,400 yards, 900 from Rome Odunze, 700 from Luther Burden, and 600 from Colston Loveland. So not bad. Defensively, sacks-wise, he had 8 from Montez Sweat, 5.5 from Gray Jarrett, 2.5 from Edwards, 2.5 from Deo, 1.5 from Tremaine Edmonds, 1.5 from Jervin Dexter. So 7-10 is a step up from last year, but obviously still not great. So let's go ahead and get to the resigning stage, as we don't have a ton of money to work with. So let's see who we need to resign. So we have Duvernay, Zacchaeus, Ricky Stromberg. So obviously, looking at all these options, I don't think I'll be bringing a single one of these guys back. I don't really care to. Obviously, Luther Burden is our wide receiver 3. So there's no need to bring Duvernay back, and he was the best potential free agent to bring back in that pool there. So let's get into free agency right away, and let's see what we got going on. So $46 million in cap space, and we will see what our lineup is looking like to see if like anything has changed, which I doubt it has based off a 7-10 record. But Caleb Williams is an 86 overall. Obviously, your offense to me is in a really good spot. The only position I would love to upgrade is the running back, obviously. So we'll have to see if maybe there's a running back option we can go after. And then, the offensive line, obviously the Bears upgraded that, so that looks good. Defensively, we could use another linebacker and maybe a better edge rusher. But overall, things look pretty solid for the most part. So we just have to hope that the simulation next year maybe treats us a little bit better. So we'll see. If there's anybody in free agency we can go after. We don't have a ton of money to work with, but running back and an off-ball linebacker is probably what I'm looking for the most. So we have Nick Chubb and then Bobby Wagner. So, you know, those two do fit the bill. But Chubb to me is a little too old at this point. It is interesting. It still holds a superstar X factor. Probably isn't that anymore. You do have J.K. Dobbins, but maybe running back is just something we draft pretty high in this upcoming draft, which I don't think would be the worst idea in the world. And then let's look at linebackers, though. So obviously Bobby Wagner is, you know, potentially someone we could look at, but we have C.J. Mosley, which would be a nice veteran to bring in, I guess. Maybe I bring in C.J. Mosley, unless if there's a different, yeah, I'm gonna go for C.J. Mosley. He has one other offer, but I'm gonna give him a 2-year deal to see if he would sign with us. Mosley should be interested in coming over here. Now, it might be the only thing I do, honestly, because this, I'd like to just draft a running back. I could sign Chubb, I could sign Dobbins, but to me, I think drafting running back is probably the best way to go about this. So give me CJ Mosley. And then is there any other player that might be worth taking a chance on? Not really. So his first free agency class doesn't look great. You do have the former Bear Tevin Jenkins here, but I'm just going to go CJ Mosley, and we're actually not going to get him anyway. So the Cowboys come in on a bigger offer. So let's see if there's somebody cheaper then if we can't get Mosley. So Gibson, no. We have Mosley, who's obviously got outbidded for him. We have Kazir White, who I guess is a starter. Yeah, so give me Kazir White. Probably will still look into drafting one, but a neutral offer and Kazir White as just depth at this point maybe becomes a starter for us. And he hasn't accepted yet, but he will now. So that's our only addition to free agency, which is just kind of a reflection of how good the Bears roster already is to where we have starters everywhere. So let's just jump in this draft. Round one, I think we have to land running back. And if we don't see a running back we like, maybe we trade for one. With a 7-10 record, we will be picking at number 12. So it's not the best pick in the world, but let's go ahead and see what we got. So we got Caleb Downs, Garrett Nussmeier, Parker. I have updated my draft class, by the way. This is still by Jack Move. If you're looking for it, just search ATD. You should be able to find it under the keyword. So let's go see what we got on the board for us. We have Drew Aller. We have Spencer Fano, Jair Hill, Francis, Anthony Hill, DJ Chester. Now, Anthony Hill actually is somewhat tempting here to be our new linebacker because we could use one. So I think this is where I'm going to go with this. We get a great speed, a middle linebacker, a man, a zone. To me, this is a no-brainer. So we're going to take Anthony Hill here. Number 9 true value, 89 speed. Going to be an immediate starter on that defense. So I like that. And we'll go running back round 2. Pass rusher is still something I could use as well. But we have 2 round 2 picks, which actually, I will say, I don't even think we're supposed to have 2 round 2s. Obviously, this is still holding the 2025 draft class. So I might send that other round 2 back to Carolina. But let me double check on that, of course, too, before I do that. So running back to me is where I would want to go with this. So we have Hicks and we have a couple options here. But I do think I'm going to take another Texas player. I think we just took one. And we're going to take another one. And CJ Baxter be our brand new running back. He usually ends up being pretty good. So Baxter, welcome to the Chicago Bears. And like I said, I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to have this other second, but let me double check. So that's something I need to remind myself on. Obviously, 2025 picks does not reflect 2026, and we're technically in the 2026 offseason, even though Madden's never going to say that, obviously. Which is just, you know, unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes. So I actually have no idea who second this originally was supposed to be, but I'm pretty sure it's not ours, so let me go double check that. So let's go take a look at the lineup going into year number 2. Obviously, not a ton of additions going into year 2 from this previous offseason, but that's just because the team, like I said, is in a really good spot. So Caleb Williams is the quarterback, and I just noticed he's now a superstar dev, which is great. You have CJ Baxter, who I'm going to start actually right away. DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Roma Dunze, Colson Levlin, Darnell Wright, Jonah Jackson, Dahlman, Tooney, and Jones. You have Trapillo, Pillow, however you say your name, off the bench. Anthony Hill, Tremaine Edmonds, CJ Edwards. We also did take Samuel here. He is only 71 overall, but do we still start him? I mean, we could still start him opposite of Montez Sweat. I don't hate the idea of that. So obviously, we're hoping that the simulation just treats us better this year. Do we change the offensive playbook is the question. That I wonder. Do I keep with Detroit's playbook? Do we go something different? I think I might run something different this year. So we're going to go ahead and run Green Bay's because Green Bay's playbook always seems to be pretty good because I want to see Caleb Williams really thrive, and I want to see this offense thrive for the also. And then Slot wide receiver is, I mean, either Odunze or Luther Burden. I'm going to continue to play with Luther Burden there in the slot. So we'll see how this goes this season. Obviously 7-10 last year. Really looking to bounce back from that. Hopefully Baxter upgrades our backfield. And I'll see you guys at the end of year 2 with the expectations of hopefully finally getting into the playoffs. So things went a lot better this year as we went 10-7. But as you can see, we do not have a wild card playoff game. I don't think 10-7 got us the bye, so I have to assume this NFC was just super good and we missed the playoffs entirely. And we did. AFC 10-7. That's pretty brutal. Obviously 10-7 usually gets you in. Unfortunately, not for us. The Seahawks and then the Cowboys also went 10-7, and we did not have the tiebreaker over either of those teams. For the third straight season, if you count real life, we have not made the postseason, which is disappointing. But we were better this year. We go from 7-10 to 10-7. We won one more game. We're in the playoffs. Unfortunate, but like I said, 10-7 usually gets you in. It's just unfortunately not this time with how good the NFC truly was. That sucks, but we're back to the drawing board again. The Ravens and the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. So far, I've not seen the Eagles make it like they always do. So maybe that changed some things. We'll see if, that stays the way it is. But let's take a look at the stats. So offensively, we were 11th in the NFL, which is good. And then defensively, let's see, we were 8th in the NFL. So both sides of the ball were good, 38-10. So Caleb Williams did bring down those interceptions. You had 7 touchdowns, 700 yards from Baxter. Luther Burden was incredible with 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. DJ Moore was good. Odunze was good. Loveland, 500 yards. Sacks-wise, Montez Sweat got involved. 7 from Tremaine Edmonds, 4 from Dexter, 3.5. Samuel only had 1.5 from his rookie. 3 from Edwards, 3 from Kuzir White, and 2 from Jalen Johnson. Yeah, all around, obviously, we would have loved to have seen ourselves in the postseason, but we didn't make it. So let's take a look to see the resigned stage. Jordan, all right, 5th-year option will accept. Kyler Gordon, if I'm not mistaken, got an extension in real life, so I plan on to reflect that here as well, and he will be brought back. And then you have Jaquan Brisker, same thing. I want to bring him back as well, so he'll stick around. And then Braxton Jones. I mean, so far I'm seeing nothing but re-signs here. Braxton Jones will be signed. T.J. Edwards is a guy I would like back as well, so we'll give him a deal. He'll stick around. So far, so good. Joe Tooney, Kevin Byard. So I guess Kevin Byard would be the one guy I could in theory let walk, but he is still a superstar dev, so giving him a 1-year deal doesn't sound too bad, but he says no, fine. And then Joe Tooney, even though we could move on from Joe Tooney here technically, I'm going to go ahead and give him a deal with him being a 92 overall, and he'll stick around. So that gives us $38 million to, replace free safety, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and get into free agency stage 1. And we'll see if there's a free safety worth taking. Like if Kirby Joseph is here, I can't go after him. I'm going to try to keep those in mind. Sometimes I forget. But I'm going to try to keep in mind the guys that have obviously signed extensions in real life. I feel like I can remember for the most part, but like I said, I forget. So maybe. And then Luther Burton's also a superstar dev. So Caleb Williams has a damn good offense around him, which is why we were good last year. Defensively, we have Montez Sweat up to superstar X Factor. I still feel like we need an opposite pass rusher to him. Linebacker core looks good. Secondary looks good. Other than free safety, clearly. But edge rusher and free safety would be my favorite thing to target this offseason. So let's go see if we can land that. And we should be in a pretty good position to be good next year. So James Cook is interesting because we do need a running back, but we have 2 running backs we already invested in. Odafe, with him being interested, he makes a ton of sense as someone, like I said, I would like to add here. Free safety, if there is one. You just have Kevin Byard and Reed Blankenship. I guess Reed Blankenship would be interesting if we want to bring him in, but I still think drafting a free safety is probably something we're going to have to do in round 1. So I'll bring in Reed Blankenship. I'm also going to try to bring in Odafe too, because he'd be perfect opposite of Montez Sweat if we can get him. Obviously, I will not keep him at linebacker. So let's see. The 49ers are definitely contesting us for it though, so we may not land him. You have Rodriguez, who would be a nice fit, but I am going to just see if we can get Odafe. So fingers crossed. Maybe we even offer more because we're desperate, and we're on the verge of being pretty close to a contender. We're right there. So let's see if we can maybe sway Odafe to choose us over the 49ers, and he did choose us. So we get Odafe, and Reed Blankenship will also choose us, but again, free safety is still something I'm going to draft. So we get Odafe opposite of Montez Sweat, so it gives us an elite pass rusher next to Montez Sweat, which gives us exactly what we wanted. So I'll go change Odafe to, I believe, right end, and we should be good there. So let's move him to right end, and man, are we going to be hopefully a really good team next year. Like I said, missed the playoffs by 1 game, so I can only assume with the addition of Odafe And then whatever we bring in the draft, we'll be in the playoffs next year. So let's get to the draft. So we get to pick at number 18 despite not making the playoffs. So let's go ahead and see what we got going on here. So KJ Bolden was my favorite player to get. Unfortunately, he did not fall to us. He would have been my free safety pick, absolutely. But the Chargers decided to take him instead. So we have Coleman, Williams. We have a corner out of Alabama. We do have a strong safety here, Caleb Harris out of Auburn. And we have Boo Carter out of Tennessee. So I guess I should just go look to see who maybe has elite speed, and then we take them. So Arizona, don't know this guy's first name, but he has good speed. So probably not going to land him with how bad he looked. But we have Corey Kirich as well. B-man, B-tackle, B-zone. So far, I guess his first name's not Corey. Sorry, he's out of Minnesota. Speed is great. So already kind of like the idea of how he's looking. But let's look at some of the other options too. Like Boo Carter was someone that was up there. And he's got elite speed. So Boo Carter has my attention. The coverage doesn't look as good, but I'm going to bank on the speed. Essentially working out for us. Number 77 true value. Hidden dev, 93 speed. So maybe could have taken the other free safety, but I'm not too mad at it. If the other free safety falls, I might take him. He's not going to, though. He got taken by the Browns, which is probably better that I don't take another free safety. So we have a corner. We have a quarterback. Another D tackle, running back. So I don't mind taking a corner out of Miami though if he looks good. So let's see. Speed is great. So give me some depth at cornerback. Never gonna have too much depth there. So I'm 17 true value, 93 hidden depth. So we're getting faster, which is good. And let's go make this last pick in round 3, and we can take a look to kind of see what we got going on with pick 82. So let's see what do we got here. So we got another running back still on the board in front of us. We got a wide receiver, a right end. I don't mind taking Jackson Howard here to be someone who comes off the bench. So I'll take that, and that will be our draft. So 143 true value, only normal dev, but just gonna be a bench piece. So we'll take it. And I will see you guys with the lineup going to year 3. We've gone from 7-10 to 10-7. So obviously the hope and expectation is to go take another step and be 12-5 or 13-4 or something like that. That'd be the dream scenario. It looks like we get to open up the season on Monday Night Football against our division rival, the Green Bay Packers. So that should be fun. But let's go ahead and take a look at the lineup going into year number 2 or year 3. Sorry, year 3. Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Swift. Rome Odunze has gotten better than DJ Moore at this point. I think I said DeAndre Moore earlier, and I almost said it again. I don't know if DJ Moore's real name is DeAndre. I don't think it is, but I need to stop saying that. The backstreet is going to still continue to start at running back for us. Defensively, so Carter, Boo Carter is technically, so we're going to move him in there. Obviously, Shamar Turner. So it looks like Grady Jarrett retired on us. So Odafe, Montez Sweat, O'Connor, nice. And then, yeah, so this all looks really good. So the expectation, like I've mentioned, I mean, I'm hoping to be in the playoffs, and I think we should be if I had to guess. We'll see how it goes. We're going to continue to run the Packers playbook because it seemed to do well for our offense last year. So I'll see you guys at the end of year 3, and hopefully we get ourselves into the postseason. So at the end of year 3, exactly the record I kind of pointed out, we do go 12-5. So that's awesome. 90 overall with a 92 offense, 89 defense. And funny enough, in wildcard weekend, Ben Johnson gets to play his former team. This should be fun. We are the 2nd seed in the NFC. The Eagles got the 1st seed at 12-5. So we were so close to getting the 1st seed. So let's take a look at the stats. So offensively, 18th in the NFL, but Caleb Williams threw 49 touchdowns and led the league in passing touchdowns. Defensively, 13th in the NFL. Okay, so defense was good. 49-6 from Caleb Williams. Very good. We got 6 touchdowns, 900 yards from Baxter. Rome Odunze with 20 touchdowns, which is fantastic. So he should be touching Superstar X Factor soon. Luther Burden with 700, and then 800 from DJ Moore. And Colston Levin with 600 as well. Sacks-wise, we had 9 from Shamar Turner. So that's awesome to see as our rookie from a few years ago ends up with 9 sacks. 9 from our free agency addition, Odafe. Only 6 from Dexter, 4 from Edwards, and only 4 from Montez Sweat. 4 interceptions from Boo Carter out of the gate. He is a star dev, 86 overall. So we'll absolutely take what he's brought to the table so far. Without further ado, let's jump in and play the Detroit Lions, shall we? This should be an interesting matchup. Like I said, Ben Johnson's versus his former squad. Let's go see if we can't take them down. The first playoff game here with Caleb Williams as the Lions come in to Soldier Field. So let's see if Ben Johnson can get the best over his former team as we get a stop to start things off. And we will go down and score 7-0. The Lions will respond with a field goal. but we put up a field goal ourselves, and now it's 6-10 going into the second half. We'll go up 17-6, but the Lions are right there with us, and thought they were about to maybe take the lead here, but instead we have the ball with 4 minutes left in the game. If we score here, the game could be over. An interception from Kyler Gordon, which is why the Bears extended him. And that will be all she wrote, as we'll escape with a 17-14 win over Ben Johnson's former team, the Detroit Lions. So let's go see who's awaiting us in the divisional round. So another NFC North opponent, which is obviously our division rival. Something I didn't even point out in the last one. Obviously, Detroit was our division foe, and we get our other division foe, the Vikings, here. So wonderful to see the Packers in the NFC Championship. I don't even know if they made the playoffs, honestly. But let's see if we can't take down another divisional opponent, as we are at home again at Soldier Field, and we will look like we're about to start off hot. We're going to intercept from Anthony Hill, and we'll go up 7-0, but the Vikings will respond with their own touchdown. And we get another interception from Jalen Johnson, and we'll go up 10-7. And we get another stop. Can we... There we go, 17-7. But just like literally last week, we're in a 17-14 ball game with the ball with 4 minutes left. And we once again, deja vu, win the game by just hanging onto the ball to end. Literally same exact scenario. 17-14 victory again over our other divisional foe. And now we're moving on to the NFC Championship. It'd be great if it was the Packers there, because that'd be kind of just funny and ironic. But again, I don't even know if they made the playoffs, to be honest. So let's get to the NFC Championship game, because that was a great couple of games for us. Let's see if we continue that. So it is NFC Championship game time, and it is not against our division foe, the Packers. They didn't even make the playoffs. It's against the Eagles, which is no surprise. So let's go ahead and see. First time we're on the road in these playoffs, as they're the first seed. So we start off with the ball, and we will start off fast with a, I guess 3-0 isn't really fast, but that's what they get as well to match. And first touchdown looks like it's going to them, and it does. And they have the ball after half. Thankfully, we get a stop. Can we tie it? Yes, we can. It's 10-10. Eagles will score. Can we tie it here? It's going to be close, but we do tie it. We're in overtime. Okay, overtime is happening. We start off with the football. 6 minutes in overtime, so I think we come out here and try to see if we can't score this overtime period, and then obviously we have to trust our defense to hopefully get some stops. So, oh my goodness, Backstrom have a, wow. Mitchell, you're not fast enough. Please don't, he's fast enough. Okay, so that was a great run by CJ Baxter to get us already inside the 25-yard line, so that is awesome. So, let's feed him again and see if we can't get another huge chunk here. So, not a whole lot that time. So the Eagles were on him that time. 2nd and 8. We're already in field goal range, but obviously we definitely don't want to just settle for a field goal here. That would be probably not a great idea. So I'm going to come out and mesh flat spot, and let's see if we can't pick up a first down, as I'm going to have to get rid of it 3rd and 8. Again, setting for a field goal sounds extremely dangerous. So I don't know if I'll go for a field goal, even if we don't get, well, I guess if we don't get any yards here, I probably have to, right? So Loveland, thankfully, is going to be open. I don't know if he's going to get the first down. He got 4th and inches. We're going to go no huddle here, and we're going to try to inside zone this for the first down. Swift, you have the, it's close against his former team. He gets the first down, though. Man, that was very close, but thankfully he got it. All right. Reset of the chains. That was terrifying, but there was a reason you go for that. I'm going to be able to scramble. I'm just going to get to the pylon with Caleb Williams. They bring the pressure off to the left side, and we're able to get to the end zone. But I am going to go for 2 because I don't have a good feeling about this. If we let the Eagles get the ball here, they're going to be able to score, and then they may go for 2. And then who knows what happens there. So we're going to go X slant here, and we're going to see if they allow Dunze to get open or we find Loveland. So let's see how this is going to go. Loveland, please, Loveland. He's going to catch it. 25-17. All we need is our all we need is our defense to stop the Eagles. And we have a shot at winning this game, but will the Eagles respond? They do not. They're going to lose 25-17 in the NFC Championship. It looked like they were about to score there. So what happened? I'm curious. Let's see what happened there. So interception from Jaquan Brisker to secure the game. They were literally on our 35. So they were going to respond with probably a touchdown. Who knows if they would have converted the 2. But at the end of the day, we score. They brought some pressure off to the left side. I saw it immediately, and we had enough room to get, look at that. I mean, technically it was picked up, so I didn't even have to run out of the pocket. So I was good, but still, they didn't contain me. and I scramble in for the touchdown, and now we're on to the Super Bowl. So let's see who we're playing. So after winning in the NFC conference, we now, of course, play an AFC team, and it is going to be the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson. So got a tough opponent ahead of us, as they will start off with or I guess we'll start off with a stop, and we will not get anything. They stop us as well. So far it's 0-0, but the Ravens will change that 7-0. And it looked like we're about to respond. We're only down 7 at this point. Third quarter time, can we score? We do. 7-7. Defense gets a stop. We're in the fourth quarter, and the Ravens will take, just kidding, they don't take the lead. So now we're in overtime again. So just like we were with the Eagles, we have to score in overtime. We'll see if we can make that happen. We're starting out in 5 wide. Let's see if we can't get down the field and score this bad boy. So I'm gonna go Loveland, and I got extremely lucky that was not picked off by number 3. So that was a really bad decision on my part. Again, very lucky I did not get picked off there. But we move on to the next play. So here we go. We're going to go and cut this to the left. CJ Baxter, spin move. Fortunately, did not get anything to go there. So that's Sab also for the Ravens, who almost picked me off. But thankfully, he didn't get any hands on it. I really want to throw it to Loveland, but I'm going to come to a Dunze here. We're going to get inside their territory. So far, this drive is being well executed. So let's continue that if we can. I think they're going to leave Roma Dunze wide open, and they sure do. So Dunze is just left wide open, and we will score. But you guys know what happens next. So if we give the Ravens the ball back, there's a chance we don't see it again. So we're going to come out here, and we're going to try to keep this in our hands, and we're going to go win the game if we can. We're going to go back to X slant, just like we did against the Eagles, and we're looking for Odunze or Loveland. Let's see if one of them get open, and I'm going Loveland. Loveland wide open, and just like that, we'll win the Super Bowl on a 2-point conversion. 2 overtimes in a row. Colson Loveland, very involved, as he was just drafted to the Chicago Bears. Maybe the new Sam Laporta for Ben Johnson. But boy, oh boy, was that a great way to end this video off. We get a Super Bowl victory. Very low scoring games in the playoffs here, but a win is a win. As I always say, 15-14 victory. We do not allow the Ravens to get the ball back. And CJ Baxter had some really good runs for us in these playoffs. So shout out to CJ Baxter as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know the next new look rebuild you guys want to see. I'm open to anything. I don't really have any particular order I'm going in. So this is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.